Hey guys, welcome to episode number 4 of the Derby Chrono Live, and to start off this episode we do have the game against Stevenage in the Carabao Cup, a good way to kick it off with quite an easy team to beat. Hopefully we can get some of our youngsters involved. So in between the two episodes I did actually make a new formation because I feel we're getting okay results, but maybe going to a two-striker formation is what we might need to do. So I've gone to this like 3-5-2, but with the wing backs pulled back a bit. Maybe I've gone a bit too far with them. I don't want them too deep, but at the same time I want us to be able to cover those crosses, because that's the main area where we've been conceding goals basically from the wide positions, and with an extra defender that should sort that out. So it's essentially the same 11, and there's no different personnel, it's just the shape is a little bit different. Of course it does mean players like Wisdom and Davies might get a few more chances since we've got an extra centre back. Also we can get Buchanan involved. One player that I've realised that isn't on the database is Morgan Whittaker. We don't really have a young... We do have Mason Bennett, who's 23, but in terms of like a teenager, we don't actually have like Morgan Whittaker or Mitchell Lawson. So maybe I'll be able to fix that in the future. We'll have to wait and see when the database does eventually update. Unfortunately, it's not actually the proper... It's not like the most recent. It shouldn't be where it is. It's like the 20th of September, and you know the database is probably a good 20 days old, so it's a little bit frustrating that EA just can't do simple things like that. But nevertheless, let's head into the first game against Stevenage. I will be making probably an entire first team 11. They've got really nice kits. I don't know if they've only just been sponsored by Burger King, but yeah, we'll definitely go for that away kit. Here we are then for the Carabao Cup game. Curtis Davis leading the lineup for this game. It's quite a strong team, but at the same time I've made pretty much a first team 11 completely different. So I've put Jack Marriott up top just because I feel like we just need to get a bit of rhythm with the strikers, and then Marriott's going to be my main man. So Dowling behind him, Patterson and Bennett out wide, Wisdom, Lowe, Buchanan, Davies, and I want to call the goalkeeper Voldemort for some reason, but it's obviously Van der Voort, and then Evans and Jason Knight in the midfield. They've gone for a 4-1-2-1-2. It's obviously two-striker. We did struggle against Stoke City, who had this formation, so it'll be interested to see how they do. It's a pretty nice system, and hopefully we can go through to the next round.
To go in this competition, to get to the final, but good form here.
Ball into Dow here early on. Can he go around the defender? Yes, he can. Now with the shot into the back of the net, Kieran Dow kicks off the game very nicely indeed. Straight from kick-off, pretty much, who ran towards their goal. And the Everton loanee has made it 1-0. He did actually score in his previous game. We've kind of like put him aside because of Rooney. But he has got a decent left foot on him. That's pretty decent when he gets into those deadly areas. And yeah, it gets us a great start. Marriott with the ball into Jason Knight. Can he get it into Dow? Yes, he can with the shot now into the back of the net. Kieran Dow pretty much in exactly the same position. 10 minutes later does double as the lead, and I think that's Jason Knight with the assist as well. I had a little thought that he was offside for the goal, but clearly was onside, and it's double the lead for us here. Just waited for the run of Knight, and then just waited for him to get onside, and then nice into the top right hand corner to make it 2-0. Bennett with the ball into the box, into Dow. Can he get his hat-trick? Just blocked by the defender. Dow with the ball here, into Marriott. Now with the shot, into the back of the net. And this game is pretty much dead and buried now. I think it's quite an easy game for us. Marriott with the goal. Probably sub him off and give Chris Martin a few minutes, or someone else. Chance it in the box with Jack Marriott, and there we go, 4-0. It's very, very easy to get through this Stevenage defence, and it's already 4-0 in the 33rd minute. Pretty much our biggest victory so far. I think we won 3-1 against Swansea. Other than that, oh yeah, we got a 3-0 against it's either West Brom or Bristol. I think it was West Brom. That should be about full time there against Stevenage. A 4-0 victory. Obviously most of the action happening in the first half. Made a few subs. Obviously subbed off Marriott just to rest him up because well, he did really well. Same with Kieran Dow. And I think it's kind of nice that we got Kieran Dow just for the cup games. Obviously he can just come in and give us a little bit of quality. A few players here leaving on international duty. Tom Lawrence between September 5th and 11th. Let me just quickly check, because sometimes obviously for some reason the championship yeah, they've actually done it cool, so the international break is actually there. Sometimes you'll have players missing for big games, but Yeah, we do have Doncaster away, Doncaster at home in the next round of the Carabao Cup. So a nice game again in the League One team. Should be able to play a few youngsters again. The thing with Buchanan, he is a centre back technically, but I just don't really see him working there because he is only 5'9". I just don't see him quite working at centre back at such a short height. He does have pretty decent pace. It's nothing amazing, but it's one of his better stats. But yeah, I think generally going for a left back position might be the play for him. He's pretty much similar to Max Lowe. Maybe we'll get Max Lowe to where Malone is and then move on Malone, who's about 29, I think. Yeah, 28, 29. So we've got another couple of seasons with Malone. 5 games in then, we are coming up against Brentford. We currently have 9 points and we are just inside the playoff zone, which is not bad. Obviously Forest up in second, but they've only got an extra point than us, so it's not exactly much of a lead this early on. Of course, Fulham unbeaten in the league, and we are playing Brentford next, who are just below us on exactly the same amount of points. We are actually unbeaten at the minute. We've won 2 games and drawn 3, so if we keep up the unbeaten run, that'll be quite good. It's interesting that not many other teams have got 3 kits. Not too sure why that is. We'll go for our away kit, of course, but yeah, most of the Championship teams I've come up against have only got 2 kits, but Derby for some reason have got 3. I must say, Curtis Davis was absolutely quality in that last game, and I think it just makes sense to put him in because he's 3 ratings higher than Clark, and if we can keep Clark reasonably low in rating by the end of the season, we can obviously just sign him up on a permanent. He does actually have high attacking work rate, which is a bit odd for a centre-back, but nevertheless, same with Waghorn with a high defensive work rate, so it's a little bit strange, but I think we'll go with pretty much that lineup. Here we are then at Griffin Park, obviously Wayne Rooney doing some kicky-uppies there, very nice. Top goal scorer in the league at the minute, so that's good. And keep up that kind of form. Like, Griffin Park is very identical, it's very much what the default, I think it's, what's the stadium called? Don't know if it says it here. Yeah, Court Lane. Like, that is literally their stadium in real life. But let's have a look at the current lineups for today's game. They've gone for a is that a 5? I think that's a 5-2-3, but it might be a 4-3-3. So that Pinnock just looks. I'm pretty sure Pinnock's a midfielder, so it should be a 4-3-3. Very good team, of course. John Vieira and Sorensen at the back, Field and Clark in the fullback positions. Pinnock, Jensen and Yearwood in the midfield. Ogbene sounds about right. They don't have very easy names. That's one thing I do realise about Brentford. But they're a brilliant club in terms of scouting. Like, they're not looking at Championship players. They're looking at all these French and Danish players around the world, and they do have a very good team indeed. And obviously they beat us 3-0 in real life. Great ball out here to Holmes. Can I get it back inside to Shinnie? Slips it through for Rooney with the sharp block by the defender. It's been not the best of first halves. It's been pretty much all Brentford, but we have got a chance here to end off the half if we can get a decent delivery in. It's gone into the back post to Holmes, just over the bar.
Well, both sides are going to make changes now.
Ball into the back post. Tom Lawrence is there. We've literally, as you can see, just subbed on Josephson. He's just whipped the ball in against his former club, and Tom Lawrence there at the back post with the header to make it 1-0, literally out of nothing. Just got the throw in, got the cross in, and it's a nice little goal for us. See, that from Rooney there is just what you love to see. He just wins the ball with his strength off the midfielders. Now we've slipped in through on goal. Can he double us the lead with the finesse shot into the back of the net? Wayne Rooney, what a wonderful player. Just literally makes this team so much better indeed. And I can't wait for it to happen in real life, of course. I'm interested to see how much involvement he gets in the first team. Obviously, we've been playing him quite a bit. There's a couple of people that didn't want me to play him, but I think, you know, I feel like if we don't play him, it'll just, by the time we do get to January, it just won't, he won't be very good. And he's currently the leading goal scorer in the league, so let's try and get that as a little accolade. The only negative is because he's playing Cam, obviously he's moving around everywhere and linking up play, which is brilliant. So I'm gonna bring on, I think we'll bring on Sibley just because I want to get the youth a little bit more involved. There's a ball into the box for Brentford. Nice little inside pass, and Curtis Davis with an absolute brilliant block there. Literally didn't do anything and he just threw himself at that. There we go, full time against Brentford City. We have won 2-0 there very nicely with Wayne Rooney sealing the game for us. And yeah, there wasn't really much of a threat from Brentford, so maybe there's been a couple of games now where the opposition haven't really done anything going forwards, and maybe changing the sliders is something we'll look at. Here we go then, transfer deadline day. We'll have a quick look around the league just to see who's done what business. Not much business by Barnsley, but they have sold Mowat for £2.5 million. Not too sure who that Suarez is, and I'm pretty sure that centre-back is from... No, that's somebody else, I think. I think that was the Man City centre-back, but it might not be. But Niamb, the right-back's very good, so he's gone. Sergio Canos has left Brentford. Bong has gone to Bristol City, I think, from Brighton. Bamber and Joe Rolls have gone from Cardiff for just under 10 million. We've sold Akechi Anya and brought in Voldemort, of course. Then McDonald's left Fulham. They've sold Mooney and brought in, I think that's a goalkeeper, Milahayov. I think he was at Forest. Not too much business for them. Lee's left Luton. Hutchinson's left Millwall. Forest has spent 10 million on Dam and Koulibaly. Obviously not Koulibaly with a K. He would have been a lot more than 10 million. QPR signing Pick and selling Manning. Reading getting rid of Blackett and Novakovic. So that's pretty much it. However, Sheffield Wednesday have spent quite a bit on Ekisi and Christensen. Then Hernandez going to Stoke City. I'm assuming that's Hernandez from CSKA Moscow, the former Fulham man. And then finally we've got Swansea City selling 12 million worth of players. We've got rid of Borja, Baston, Fulton, Rodden and Carroll. So that's quite a bit, and they probably won't be quite as good as they are in real life. And Sergio Romero coming from Southampton going to West Brom, and that is about it. So we'll have a look at some of the top deals as well, just to see who's gone where. Paul Pogba's gone to Real Madrid, Skriniar to Bayern, Thiago to Real Madrid. It'd be interesting to see if some of you guys can look at your career modes and see if some of these, like for example Alaba would always go to I think it was Juventus last year. I'm pretty sure that was the transfer anyway. Kingsley Coman to Paris for 63 million. Carvajal for 57 million. Is that worth it? Icardi to... Oh, yeah. So some of the transfers aren't fully updated, which I'm not too bothered about, because in the Championship, the window closed anyway. So there's only really George Thornton. That's why he's still at the club, for example. But the majority of transfers are pretty much where they should be. We'll just quickly scroll through this and see any real business. It's a little bit of a shame that Chelsea's transfer ban isn't in place in the game. Obviously it will be in Football Manager, but EA just can't really fathom how to do that. Kyle Walker going to Piemonte Calcio, of course. Paulson to Bournemouth. Boateng back to Man City. There's a few interesting ones here. Pavon, I'm pretty sure he only just moved to Galaxy, but maybe the way the MLS season works, it should be alright. Lucas Leiva for 24 million to Manchester United. There's some interesting ones in here. I'll just quickly get to the bottom if we can go through some of these. Selke to Everton. There's a good signing. Giovanni Simeone. I'm pretty sure he should have been at Cagliari. So yeah, it's a little bit annoying that all the transfers aren't 100% right, but in terms of Derby and in terms of the Championship, by the time we did get to the Premier League, all the transfers would have mixed up anyway. So let's go through these 10 hours. I very much doubt that we're going to be able to get George Thorne out of the club, which is a bit of a shame. So I might just play him in the occasional game here and there, but not. Maybe if we just get injuries. So let me just quickly check. We don't have any objectives to sign players in this objective overview, so it's mainly just youth players, so I don't need to sign anyone in the transfer window, so that's good to see, of course. So we'll sort the youth academy probably in the next episode or something. But let's see if we get any offers for any of our players. And there you go. Fulham. See, because it's Fulham, I don't want to give it to a league rival. And I kind of want to keep it authentic, to be honest. I know we got rid of Akechi Anya, and I know we've already brought in Rooney, but let's not try and make too many transfers happen. Although if we do get an offer for Thorne, I will let him go, because that's what's happened in real life. Transfer offer for Mason Bennett, we'll be declining that straight away. I'm hoping we can get Bennett a bit more game time. I don't know what his stamina is, to be honest. We'll have to have a look in the squad screen, because basically he's got quite a bit of pace, and when I tend to run with him, he just kind of runs out. He's never actually finished 90 minutes of football. That's a very interesting stat, and as you can see, he's only got 59 stamina with 80, like what, 83 pace probably. It's going to go down quite quickly, so I'm not too sure if you can actually put him into training to get that stamina up, so that'll be something I'd look at. 3 hours to go in the window then. Another offer here for Craig Forsyth from Celtic this time. I just don't need the money, and he's, you know, he's been at the club for flipping years, Craig Forsyth. He's been through so many managers, and I do feel he has got a lot of stick, from me especially. Like, the amount of times in this career mode I've had Forsyth at left back and I've gone, let's sign off left back straight away, but this time happy with Malone, Lowe and Forsyth. Of course, we can't really do much to improve. And there you go, transfer deadline day has finished, so let's have a look at where we are in the league and finish off the episode. We are currently in 4th, 12 points on the board. Only Fulham and Leeds have more points, but obviously we are currently unbeaten with 3 wins and 3 draws. That's a pretty good record if we can keep that up. Only Stoke City and Fulham. Obviously we did draw against Stoke City, so that point does look quite good now. Bristol City, maybe we could have done. I think the only game that we did we beat Bristol City or did we draw? I want to say we drew to him, but maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, let's end off the episode here. We will have a look if we can actually change Mason Bennett to something to do with physical stamina training, just because then that way we can get his stamina up. I'm pretty sure there is a way. I'm sure I've seen it before somewhere. So yeah, you can do it here, but it is only an easy training exercise, so it may take a while to get it up, but if I can get it towards the 70 mark, that way you can play a bit more time. So yeah, let's finish off this episode here. It's been a pretty good one. Obviously, we've got the win in the Cup, 4-0, and then beat Brentford 2-0. Very nice indeed. We'll just go through the international break. So yeah, hopefully guys did enjoy this episode. Leave a like rating if you did enjoy, and see you soon. Bye.